You like Trump? Good girl. You like Biden? Come on, man. We cheated. All right. Texas Star 667. tacked all the washers on there. Got it hot, soldered them all on there so the standoffs don't never fall off again. I don't know exactly what's wrong with this thing. It's been blowing it's been getting the output combiner really hot. The front two transistors wasn't lightening up on the FLIR. I don't know. Had a few things that was loose in it. Alright, it's back in. Got some glue on that front. I'm gonna go clean the transistors up. All of them tested good. So I'm gonna go upstairs, clean them up, and I'll be back. Well, I hooked this up with this wires for testing purposes, and I found out why this board has not been keying up, and it's been hiding itself the whole time. I've took this board completely out, washed it, looked over everything, look, and I just tacked some wires on just for the hell of it to test the biasing on it before the transistors go in. It's just the way I do it. If you don't do it like that, it's fine. Do it any way you want, but this way you don't have a chance of blowing up a transistor. The hot is disconnected from the one pill. The one pill's back in there. I've been moving along with this. I've been on the phone with a friend of mine talking to him, so I didn't want to put that on camera, so I work while I talk. And even though I don't do it a lot on here, but it ain't nobody to talk to then, just the camera, and it don't talk back. It's about as smart as Joe Biden. Well, it's got a problem here. It's hiding itself. Just right under here. Make sure I get the power hooked up. Right here in this area. So, future note. This transfers, power comes in here, transfers through this bar, goes over through here and goes to that board. But right here, hiding up underneath that ground wire, is it's disconnected. So if I can get this up where you can see it, if I can zoom this in. Got lines because of the LED lights. I'm gonna hold this steady. I'll shake as much as Hunter Biden. Right here in this spot, the power's not crossing over. It's completely burnt that trace on that board. But the reason I took this board out was to look under it and to see, I'll make see it better there. That trace is completely burnt up right there. See the end of my pointer? Right there. So this two pill section wasn't coming on because of that. Power wire upgrade to do away with that. I could have just put a power wire upgrade on this thing and wouldn't have had to do anything else to it. That's the reason I put a power wire from here over to this transformer, and it gets rid of that. It don't have to jump over. Well, it does jump over. It jumps over through that, but those don't jump over through that. One trace and one trace only, if that makes any sense. But that will fix that problem there, and that's as easy as winding up a simple choke. Mighty heavy gauge wire. You don't need all that heavy gauge. Let's see. Trying to reuse some wire. That's the hot bus. It's going to get tacked over to there. And the reason I didn't see anything is because the relays wouldn't latch up. And when I got to inspecting why it wouldn't latch up, I seen that. I go on the back and I attach this here. But that's why Texas stars are somewhat of a bitch sometimes to find a problem because of the traces. But just to make a mental side note, that was the problem on this. Man, that's crazy. This wire. It's not solder. I thought it felt mighty heavy. Now I should be able to take the bison. This other trace don't look burnt up under there. This was loose. I have no clue why. That was a loose when it came in. So it was going to have an imbalance anyways. But not only was that a loose, this was a loose. Had a piece of purple wire there that was a loose. But this section of the board wasn't coming on. I took the FLIR, looked at it, seen these two transistors coming on, but I couldn't tell about this one. But I could tell a little bit it was coming on, but I try to check the bison without the transistor in it. It will read a little higher like this because it don't have a load on it, but it'll give you a good idea before you stick a transistor in, and especially a $200 component, and blow it sky high. Damn LED lights, probably killing me. So it's 773. I don't understand why that one's low. That one's 8 something. Because the input bias is coming directly off that block there, coming over to this transistor. It should check the same. Well, then again, you got to check it from here. Yeah, 773, 773, 8 something, a little high on the back side of that one. And change this resistor out and see what I get. See if this will drag it a little bit more to ground. That was unhooked. Tin this wire of this resistor. Let's see if I'll drop it down a little bit. 8 something. 773, 772. $730. 773. 772. He lose a little bit through line loss, but I've successfully found a problem just by doing this. I mean, it's a lot of a hassle by that trace being gone, but the simple power wire ray would have solved that. But hell, you didn't know that at the time. I didn't know that at the time, but we found it. Now we just got to figure out how we want to do the power wire ray. If we want to put these back in and use this for a bridge, it would make a nice, it does make a nice isolator, but the problem is that with the fabulous president that we have, that's a joke, but copper wire is getting kind of scarce, and I don't know why the place that I've been buying from don't have any copper wire, 8 gauge. Hopefully when I place an order with Fat Boy that he's got some. Hopefully. I've checked everything. I've checked the, these are actually 1200s. I've checked the 1200s, 1500s, everything I've checked. So, that would have really worried the hell out of me until I found out what was wrong. But thank God I did. Come on through get it down straight. You crossover and bastard. Now we're talking. I've had some pretty good company today. Mr. Maytag come down and let's see, Bam Bam came down. Shit. Walkie talkie. I bet there's a lot of people in Ukraine wanting a CB right now, being it knocked out their communications over there. Hell, if I knew how to send something like that, I'd send them some. Probably can't get nothing over there. Kind of strange, they walking out of the country into other countries, and Russia's completely around them, surrounded them, and they letting them out. That's a good thing, but that don't normally happen in wartime. Kind of strange going 4 years without a war, and now all of a sudden back in it. added another ground wire in this thing. Which is here. Yep, that was definitely the problem. I went through a lot of stuff to find that problem, but it'll be better. The meter's gonna be stiff. I glued that on. That's actually with some actual 3M like weather stripping adhesive like they used to use back in the day. Put all that back in here, so that's tight. That's just set up by now. Stuff usually don't take too long, but yeah. Let's see, the power wire upgrade's been done on it pretty much. Helps out the wire. I will wash this again. I've got a little flux all over the place now. So we'll be taking this upstairs very shortly, washing this all back out again. I cleaned the transistors off very well. They're nicely clean now. The Awesome that I use kind of washes the lettering off. Some of them it don't. Yeah, all the same light, and this was only, I just sprayed it across them and brushed them, and then washed them back off. But some of them it will wash down. Wash the stuff, the writing off of them. But they're still all matching. Was using alcohol, but it's been kind of hard to get to. I'm trying to find me some more. I mean, I go to Lowe's, get some denatured alcohol. But that stuff evaporates so damn quick. Which ain't too bad. But I don't know if it does any better job for what I'm trying to do than Awesome does. So, only thing Awesome does that I don't like is take the lettering off the transistors. This thing should work jolly good here in just a little bit. But let me go up here and wash this thing back off before I go to putting that stuff back in it. I don't want to wash the transistors out any more than I have to. Be better to wash it off now. Get that out of the way. The bison's right. The one pill's in here right. Kind of weird why they do this, but whatever. I had to turn down an amp today, guys, for to fix a Palomar 775. Don't even try sending me one of those. That's like the sorriest amp that I've ever worked on. Palomar 775, do not buy one. If you want to take any advice at any time. Now if they work great, but if they don't work, it's a bitch to get them to working. Especially with that little board up in the front. The board in the back's kind of okay. It's pretty much like a Palomar 600. But that little board up in front, damn. Alright then, I'm going to wash this out. I'll be back. Okay, it's finished. This thing it ain't quite finished yet. I got a little bit of soldering to touch up on it, just a little bit. This thing was a little bit of a bitch. It wasn't key. It wasn't key. I mean, it was just showing open. It's showing reflect back towards the radio without the amp even coming on. Relays was clicking, but it just wasn't showing nothing. I kept messing around with the input on it, and something popped. A little smoke come out. Hell, it started working. I don't know. I've been talking on it for about the last 10-15 minutes. I've been talking to a guy in Rocky Mount, North Carolina. That's pretty good ways from, say, I'm middle ways of Burleson. I'm in the four corners of land where it all meets. So you got Rockingham County, Castle County, Guilford County, Alamance County. I own land in all four counties. Pay tax in all four counties. But where they meet, that's where I'm at. So I can't really tell somebody I'm in one place or the other, but because I'm in all four. So done a power wire upgrade to it, because the little power wires come out of it was nothing. So I ain't got much copper wire left. It's all I could scrounge up was some 4 gauge that I had, heavy duty 4 gauge. It's actually, it says it's made in the USA, probably China made. Put a distribution block here, one for the hot there, this goes to here, this one goes around, goes to there, then here. I had that broke tray standing there, but when you go over with this B plus here, it eliminates that. Well, grounds to both sides of the boards, 2 8 gauge coming in here through a grommet. You could just put I could just put a bolt there, but it's kind of hard to solder to it, but that could be done. Might think about something for that. Make a grounding lug that I can solder to that goes for Texas Star. I don't know how I come up with this. Kind of do something a little different every now and again. instead of putting them fuse blocks back in here, I just done it like this. That's a diode there to help hold this down. That's a copper strip there, and got double stick tape on it, and it's glued. Like I said, I got a little bit of solder work. The biasing looks good on it. It's running good. It's doing about 600 watts. I'm going to show you what it's doing here in just a few minutes, but I replaced the 104s. One of them broke, and I didn't want to have an oddball out, so I replaced all 4 of them. Like I said, that whole thing, probably what was wrong with this amp was this little trace under here, and earlier on in the video I showed that trace that was burnt out there. Note to self to look for that next time, and anybody else out there that might deal with this kind of stuff, it could be that. It's the first time I've ever seen that. And I had an imbalance in it for a little bit. I don't know why. Like I said, it wasn't even keying up. Moved the input around, like made it into a Texas Star 500 to test just this 4-pill section, and to eliminate the 1-pill section to find out what my trouble was. It still didn't find it. It burnt that a little bit, so I went on and replaced it with a more heavier duty one. As you can see, that's more 10 unit henries. It's still 10 unit henries, but it's stronger. Like I said, I don't know how I fixed it, but a little smoke came from over here, which most times shows an imbalance. I don't see it burn up in any way, shape, or form. I don't see any discoloration to it or anything. I don't know whether something soldered itself back together or what. I have no clue. But I've had this completely out of the board, and it has fixed itself somehow or another. It's just one of those things. I glued the meter down, glued the face down. This preamp transistor wasn't even in it. Somebody's been in this thing somewhere along the line and moved around a little bit of stuff. I replaced the coaxes with 316. This cap back here was loose. Well, looked like it was unsoldered. That 103 there was unsoldered, or got hot or come out, I don't know. The output combiner, the resist on it had got a little hot from when it had an imbalance. I cut that out of it. Put another 100 ohm resistor there. I think it's done pretty good. It's doing some decent watts. I kind of like doing this in a way. It takes a little bit more time, where if you leave these in, you can just strap over to that and then strap out to here, but then again that leaves you no room for grounding, and I'd rather get good grounding on it. Since this is a number 4, I went with 2 number 8s here. I like to have 2 number 8s here if I can, and ground it directly to the board, but that's a whole nother subject. But anyways, I checked everything in it. It's working. Doing like it's supposed to. I have no clue why it acted like it acted. But like I said, I think it had loose solder joints in it. Alright, it's on. Of course, the light on the front is bad. I don't have any. I might could put a LED in there. Oh. It's doing right at 600. Reflect looks really good on it. Oh, oh, oh. Reflect looks good. As far as amperage, that's where you can see it. Oh, oh, pretty normal, about 53, 54 amps, something like that. You can near about calculate the amps into the wattage. But yeah, here's where we're at. It's fixed. I'm going to put a little bit more work into it tomorrow. It's probably 5 o'clock in the morning. I was only going to put a couple hours in this, but I washed it again, tested it, found that trace back here bad, and then washed it again. And I'll be damned if I don't need to wash it again. But I think it's doing pretty good. That is a 2290 Toshiba. All the rest of them matching Toshibas. Of course, 2290 don't match them, but they never do. Different lots. But I got a little cleanup work here where I messed around with the input. Little cleanup on them little pigs. But it was a few things loose in it. Put all new 10 ohms down. So yeah, this has been out of here, reconfigured, new 10 ohm there. I don't know why they put so big of a 10 ohm there. Put a half a watt. It needs to be an eighth of a watt, quarter of a watt. Then when one goes down, you can actually see it and tell it. But that's neither here or there. That's my opinion, and probably mine alone. But the dial watt's working, the sideband delay is working, the preamp's working. I guess you can hear that. I say the needle go up about 2-ish units. That's just I didn't have one that like the book called for, with it 4125. I just put a 2907 in it. I need to look up some of those transistors, see if I can get some in, but I don't have any. I reckon I could have went with a 4403, I guess. Yeah. But they're about the same thing. But I think the 4125 or whatever it is, I think they may be a little better. So I looked them up. But yeah, there you go. It's got a little heat in it because I've been talking on it. It's more on the outside edges now. It's done wicked out, but it's just going. I've never had one to do like this. I never seen one with a burnt trace, and not to say I'm better than nobody else or nothing. I sure as hell ain't. But what happened, I have no clue. Like I said, a little puff of smoke come out of here somewhere. Maybe when I had these out of here and resorted all these legs. But maybe it didn't get soldered to the top. I don't know. You can't see under there. Sound like Barack Obama, don't I? But yeah. It's fixed, ready to go. Meter's working on the front. Audio, 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 audio. Like I said, I might try to put a LED in this thing tomorrow. This one, it needs another switch in it, kinda. I don't know. It might be these legs. I need to solder them down. Yeah, some legs set. First one I ever seen do that was Gatekeeper, but I solder them down and they'll come back in. That light comes on when you squeeze them two legs. I don't know if you can see that on film. I can't cover it and show it at the same time, but it comes on. The power light, I don't see it coming on. Unhook the power from it and do that right quick. Put a little dab of the soda on there. Let me do this off and on switch and see if it might work for that. Doubt it. But this was Gatekeeper's good idea. Doing that there. Let's do all of them. That pin's good and hot. You gotta watch what you're doing. You can short a pin out back there. This is the downfall to a Texas Star right here anyways, if you ask me, is these blame switches. Alright, all soldered in. Now we have light. Oh, still have power, but now have light on all of them but the off and on switch. And I might can get some might get an LED to go up in there. I don't know. Well, can't light up and I got no bulb in it. No bulb I'll see if he's got one. I might fish up one, I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think I got any that plugs in like that. I can make up LED go back here, back behind that, but I don't think they'll shine in the way that plug's made. But, alright. Y'all have a good day. Let me get out of here and try to get some rest if I can. Hopefully to God I can. Like aiming and cranked up her truck. So, y'all have a good evening. Later.